That earlier roll will help get it up to the pocket.
Soper will lead us off in our championship match, and he begins with a strike. He's had a lot of those this week, even bowled a 300 during qualifying. And so Ricky Ward, who was in our tournament in Brentwood a week ago, beating Doug Kent in our third round, opens up the championship round with a strike. And that's the way our championship round begins. 2 straight strikes, one from Soper, one from Ward.
Well, today they're averaging between all the players 247 and 2/3 on this championship round pair. I look for a lot of strikes in this match too. Right now, Ricky Ward got to be feeling good about the way things are going in this match.
Ward, too, also had a very consistent week. Started off 29th, moved up the ladder. He is open with 2 strikes.
Putting the pressure right on Butch Soper. We take a look. Ricky knows it's a good shot, but could be the 7-pin. Oh no, it's gone.
He really gets energized by the crowd. Soper was in the TV finals in his first tournament almost 26 years ago to the date, losing to Bill Beach at the Los Angeles Open.
Soper says he takes credit for making Bill Beach a star of the 70s. And you know, Butch has not changed his demeanor or his style of bowling. And I've known him since 1973. I bowled my first tournament in Portland, Oregon. He was a member of the tour back then. And he's always thrown the ball pretty straight. He's never changed anything. Never gets too upset or too excited, although if he wins this tournament, we may see some added emotion from Mr. Soper.
Well, this is a guy who really knows his ups and downs and what it's like to go through all these years of bowling. I mean, he told me he won $150,000 more in 1996 and only $13,000 on tour last year. Talking about ups and downs.
That'll humble you, and that kind of strike will humble Ricky Ward. It's uncanny, the ability that Butch Soper has to put the ball in the pocket and strike. Take a look. Nice looking shot going up about the 7 board. Stops, high flush in the pocket. Oh hum, nice shot, Butch.
Ward working on 2 strikes. Third frame, and he gets it.
Well, Ricky Ward knows what it's like to have his opposition put the heat on him. He's seen nothing but strikes out of his opposition the last couple of games. Fortunate to not have Doug Kent strike in the 10th frame. That affords him the opportunity to go for the title here. He defeated Butch Soper 2 times earlier this week, but that doesn't mean anything right now. Everything is fresh. As he goes for 4 in a row. Come on, Messenger. And he got that one. We're going to take a look at this one as he puts the guns back in his holster. Ricky Ward with the great shot. We see this ball start out around the 2nd arrow, going out to 6 board, coming back in, light in the pocket. Look at the way that head pin rushes back over to get the 10. And look at this reaction. He shoots him down.
So Soper now in the 4th frame.
Must strike to keep pace. That's got to hurt. Almost gets a trip of the 2-pin, but that ball was right off his hand.
And so a 9 in the 4th for Soper, leaving the 2-pin after 3 straight strikes. This is a guy who keeps at this profession because he loves it.
That's a shot that I believe would have gotten back to pocket the last 8 games of match play. Not quite as much room for Butch Soper today on the telecast as he had earlier in the week.
Marshall, he told me last night that he's one of the last of the spinners. I didn't even know he could sing. I mean,
well, he does sort of top the ball off his hand. He's got a unique style. You wouldn't teach the youngsters of today to bowl that way. There's his lovely wife, Dawn. She flew in today from Lake Havasu City. That ball bounced. Yikes. It brought Dawn out of her chair, and fortunate to make 8 pins. As we take a look at this shot, he just got it down early, and look at this. Boing.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to land that airplane, Butch.
So an 8 in the 5th after sparing in the 4th.
Well, Butch Soper, known as a great spare shooter, but very fortunate to pick that one up. Only 13 pins behind Ricky Ward right now. Ricky Ward with the hammer could make it 23 with a strike in the 5th frame. And I know all Ricky's thinking about right now is this one shot, but let's take it up a few shots. If he were to strike 8 more times, it's kind of early. $25,000 bonus for a 300 here in the championship match.
I asked you this last week. You can start talking about 300s in the 5th frame, and that's not a jinx?
No, how can it be a jinx? I'm up here, they're down there. I mean, I think
you know in baseball how they don't like to talk about no-hitters till you get to about the 8th inning.
I don't give myself that much credit for having any power over the players down there.
He's on my team.
Well, Ricky Ward has got some power. He's got 5 in a row here in our championship match. Coming to the 6th frame now, and he's up by 23 pins.
A lot of interplay between Ricky Ward and Rick Benoit, his ball rep, and between Butch Soper and Billy Yinger, the ball rep that helps him out.
And as you mentioned last week, the ball rep is sort of like a crew chief.
Yeah, very important. He helps put the right ball in the hands of the player, and then helps them to tweak it ever so slightly on how it will work best for them. For 6 in a row. You got it. A lot of confidence. The 29-year-old Ricky Ward. He's got a 33-pin lead over Butch Soper, and Butch Soper, who came in light on lane 24 last time, must figure out the proper way to strike. Just the way I taught you, Butch.
Soper answers in the 6th with a strike. This is a guy who works very hard on his game. He says he has a great couch at home. He just never gets to sit on it. He's always working at the game.
He's on the road as much as anybody. He bowls virtually every tournament. When he isn't bowling, he works in the press room. When he isn't bowling on television, he's out in the truck helping with the graphics. He's a busy man. Very important. And leaves the soft 10 pin. And you heard him say that hurt, and it does.
Well, you mentioned, Marshall, that it is so much tougher for a guy in the top seed.
We see that, excuse me, Mike, we see the 6 pin. It just sits in the channel, does not kick out. And I know what you're going to talk about. That's got to slide.
Oh.
Come on, Butch, you're supposed to be a great spare shooter. Hey, Don says no problem, had it all the way.
The top-seeded player has lost 14 of 16 title matches because, as Butch mentioned in your interview, you got to sit around for an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's true. It's a double-edged sword. You know, double-edged sword. You want to be the tournament leader because you know you're in the title match. As Ricky goes for 7, and he's got it. Anything less than perfection for Butch Soper right now is not going to keep pace with Ricky Ward.
$25,000
Exactly.
for a 300 game. And Ricky Ward in the 8th frame.
Oh, Ricky,
7 in a row.
Oh, Ricky, you're so fine. You throw a strike every time. Look at that light hit. A little bit of a break for Ricky Ward. And Butch Soper finding himself in a very, very big hole right now. We'll take one more look take a look at the way the ball goes way out onto the lane and then hooks back into the pocket, shakes him down. Friendly strike for Ricky Ward. Ricky Ward right now with 8 in a row. Butch Soper trails by 53 pins. He strikes in the 7th frame. Still has a possible 247. I've got that figured out correctly.
Soper will not go away.
Butch Soper needs to strike in the 9th frame, and he's going to have some help from Ricky Ward if he expects to win this particular tournament. Ricky Ward working at a 260 pace if he spares in the 9th and 10th. And he got it.
Butch Soper with a double in the 8th and 9th. But Ricky Ward coming to the
If Ricky Ward strikes on this shot, he can relax and forget about winning the tournament. This strike is to win your tournament. He's a winner. Now, the only thing he can think about is 300. He He's got the tournament wrapped up if he just keeps the ball on the lane. With an open, he shoots in the 260s. The best Butch Soper can do, as I said earlier, 247. And for a man who led the tournament for the last day and a half, Butch Soper is not going to win.
We had 4 300 games this week here at Leisure Lane.
Came in light last time. He came in light again and leaves the 7th pin. It won't be a 300 for Ricky Ward, but it will be title number 3.
So Ricky Ward, the 29-year-old from North Fort Myers, Florida, closes out Butch Soper. The fair in the 10th.
Well, right now Ricky feels kind of bad about not shooting 300, but as Butch Soper congratulates him for having a great week. He wins the tournament. Believe me, that's more important than shooting 300. 279 for Ricky Ward.
And Ricky Ward is the winner of the Albuquerque Open. Ward finishing with a 279 as Butch Soper will close out his 10th frame on a great week in Albuquerque.
Wow.
But it's Ricky Ward today as he wins his 3rd National Tour title and the 1991 Rookie of the Year on track in 1998. We're coming back.